does this. Oh, I got 5 people. I usually have to refresh this a few times. Okay. Yep, we're live. All right. Welcome everyone to the 16th episode of Goddess Spotlight with Liaserenityrose. And I have my lovely co-host here, Kookie Star, or
Hello.
aka Kenny.
Hi, guys. Thanks for
And
having me here, Leah.
of course, our special guest here today, Tara's Diary.
Hello.
All right, so let's get started on this Q&A, shall we? All right, so here's my first question for you, Tara. How did you get into voicing Amy in your video content, and how did you start becoming a Sonic content creator? I really want to know about this.
I really like the question about what interested me about voicing Amy, because actually I've never been asked something like that. I've always loved Amy. She's always been one of my huge favorites in the Sonic franchise, and I've always wanted to voice her. It has been a huge dream of mine. I used to not be able to voice Amy when I was younger, so back then I thought, nope, it's never possible for me. I can't get the high-pitched voice that Amy usually voices. And one day when the voice acting thing actually became a thing on the channel, I decided, you know what, stop letting your dreams be dreams. Decided to voice Amy, and I just got a lot of practice through listening to voice reels of other previous Amy voice actors in the games and shows. Lisa Ortiz is a huge inspiration, by the way. She's an amazing voice actress for Amy. But I just generally wanted to voice Amy because I really loved the character. And what inspired me to be a Sonic content creator, it's literally just watching Sonic videos on YouTube really were the biggest inspiration for me. That's how I ended up finding Sonic in the first place and become a huge Sonic fan. I was just watching these Sonic music videos, these Sonomy music videos. And then I got into the rabbit hole of Sonomy fanfics on YouTube. Back then there was a lot of them. And they really inspired me to want to do my own Sonomy fanfics, because it seemed pretty easy for me to do back then because I was a video editor who has a passion for writing. So I thought, yeah, let's do some Sonomy fanfics through videos. And it's just got to here today. And as time went on, I've been gradually improving the fanfics visually and also through sound. And I just enjoy bringing my imagination to life, really. So that's usually my main thank you to inspiring me is YouTube generally. Just people who made videos on YouTube are my huge source of inspiration.
Wow, yeah, like I remember back in the day, like way back in the early 2000s, yeah, that's how videos were made.
Yeah.
And everything. But that's really cool that you got inspired just from that, and you're like, I wanna take a crack at this, you know?
Yeah.
But that's really cool. I always love learning about my guests' like backstory of how they got into it, because everyone has their own unique story, you know?
Yeah, definitely.
Kenny, do you have a question for Tara?
Of course. This is a general question for you, Tara. So, what do you recommend to, younger generation of artists to what to do in case they want to start doing animations or drawings or stories in general?
I generally would just say, just take the first step and do it. I know it's very easier said than done, but like, I know it's very common and it's not even a shame. It's not even a bad thing to be ashamed of about being worried and afraid of posting your first things out there, but you're always going to improve as time goes on. So while you may think you might be in a position where you don't think your work may be good enough, whether you may think that or not, just post it, because like as time goes on, you will improve. And it's such a bittersweet feeling looking back and seeing how far you've come. Like my first fanfics on YouTube, they were literally just text and Sonic X screenshots. And back then, I couldn't do art myself, actually. I used to struggle with art. And because of Thumbelina, this project I had on YouTube, I basically just started learning how to do art myself. Despite not being happy with the way my art was back then, I just carried on and kind of just kept doing it. And it's come to the point where I actually enjoy art now, and I love my art now. Like I actually look at my art in a way where, hey, that's the kind of art style I like now. And I would just say, keep going, keep doing it. And it doesn't matter what other people think at the end of the day. It's your journey and nobody else's. And you should be able to let your imagination go out there. Like at the end of the day, it's what you want to post. I hope that somewhat helps.
Yeah, that's really amazing. Yeah, I really vouch for you in that one because when people has this amazing ideas and stuff like that, instead of like, shying away for what people will tell them, it's best if they let them, let them out and see how things will go. I've seen many cool ideas around Twitter, Instagram, and every social media about Sonic, and wow, they're amazing. They even inspire me to do my own thing.
Yeah.
And it's really great. Yeah.
Honestly, you've got this. I think you can nail it.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
That's wonderful. I love when it's always good to ask, like, how you can give advice to people who want to start out in creating Sonic content.
Yeah, it's amazing how much creativity there is in the Sonic community. Like, there's just so many creative people, whether it's writers, artists, video editors, etc. It's crazy how the community is.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, okay. Here's my next question for you, Tara. I'm very curious to know, how did you come up with the stories for the Sonic and Halloween series? I'm very curious to know about that one.
Oh, the famous series, Sonic and Halloween. Back then, when I did the first series, which was it was technically just a spin-off series from the Sonic at High School alternate universe, and I didn't really expect to make Sonic on Halloween its own series, but I remember talking to my best friend CJ. She's a huge part of the channel, and she's in the comment section. But I asked her, I'm like, do you want to do Sonic on Halloween too? And I actually reshared a story post of this the other day because I found it archived on my Instagram stories years ago, and I just looked back at it thinking, wow, like how this decision made a huge impact on the channel. We just did Sonic and Halloween 2 for fun. Like, that was just going to be the only sequel. We were just doing it as for fun. And because it really blew up on the channel, we were just thinking, oh, wow, people really love this. So we ended up making Sonic and Halloween a series because a lot of people really enjoyed the comedy and the romance and a tiny bit of horror in it. Everyone really enjoyed that. So it's just been something like a really fun series for us to do. Like Sonic and Halloween's always been fun to do, and I can't wait to do the 5th one this year, in fact.
Ooh. That series, it really captivates me. Like every new one, it's like, ooh, it's a different story. I love this.
Yeah.
I think my favorite one, I would have to say, is like probably the one where they get sucked into the book. That one.
Oh yeah, that was the 3rd one.
That was definitely one of my favorite ones.
I really had fun with that one. It was meant to be the last one, but a few years later, I just decided, you know what, let's do another one. Let's do another Sonic and Halloween. It's been a while, and we do get people asking about it quite often. So we decided to do a 4th one, but we couldn't fit everything in the 4th one, so a 5th one's coming.
My personal favorite will forever be 12th of July. No questions asked.
Oh, 12th of July is a very special one.
Yeah.
That one is the first project about mine and CJ's alternate universe, because CJ and I have our own private universe that we roleplay together, and I wanted to bring it to life on YouTube because like she also has amazing creative ideas. And we've done a few projects now related to that universe, along with my sister, Smethla's Story, and CJ's done some on her end as well. I really had fun with 12th of July. I'm surprised how quick that project was done.
Oh yeah. Yeah, definitely. I especially love the lastest one. I think it was episode 4. Is my favorite so far from the series. So I believe it's my turn.
Yes, it is.
Okay. Let's see. You're probably gonna hate me for this question. So Tara, which is your favorite Sonic character?
It's very obvious that question's got a very obvious answer. You won't even be surprised by that one.
I'll let you take a huge guess.
Oh, we have another special guest here. Hi, Amy.
Hello.
Sorry, I haven't seen Sonic.
I've been looking for him all day, okay? But I do wonder who Tara's favorite character is, of course.
Oh no.
No, it's obviously Amy. Silver is a bit close to first place. I do love Silver a lot as well, but Amy is my girl.
Yeah, Amy is definitely one of the best girls. I can vouch for that.
Yeah, she's just the best. There's a lot of side characters I really love. They're all unique in their own way.
Yeah. I personally love you, Amy. Not gonna lie.
Thank you. I'm really surprised to this day that people like the voice. Because we did a animation dub over Evil Shaddix animation, and some people have been talking about how my Amy voice sounds more American nowadays, which I'm surprised to hear because I thought I sounded British as Amy. Because I used to get the British Amy comments, but I've been getting some comments now that I do sound a bit American as Amy sometimes. I don't even know. Half the time I get British or American, but I'm overall British.
Yes, sometimes I even confuse your Amy voice with Lisa, and I'm like, wait, is this like a visual actor? Wow.
She is a huge inspiration, so I wouldn't blame you for that. I absolutely love Lisa's Amy.
Yeah, but definitely, I really love your voice for Amy. It's amazing.
Thank you.
My pleasure.
Ooh, okay. Here's my next question for you, Tara. If you were to suggest a Sonic Speed Cafe menu item, which character would it be and what food would it be?
I don't know how to answer this question, unfortunately, because we don't have the Sonic Speed Cafe in the UK, so I have no idea what's on the menu, unfortunately. All I would just say is probably whatever Amy has. I don't know the menu, sadly. I'm sorry.
But that's okay. What Amy has on the menu, she has a strawberry milkshake and pico pico tenders from when I went. I don't know if they added anything else, but they did have those two for Amy. So strawberry milkshake, Amy has a strawberry milkshake.
That just wins me over instantly. Can't go wrong with strawberry milkshake.
It just makes sense too.
It does. The sweetest girl is there's the sweetest treat.
So will this fight the allegations of Sonic hating strawberries?
Oh,
just saying, like bro literally made it clear he hates strawberry shortcake. So
Oh, that made me laugh. I love that.
I don't know.
I love that clip.
All right, Kenny, do you have another question for Tara?
Of course. Do you have any favorite Sonic song? In this case, you can choose 2.
Ooh.
This is a hard question. The Sonic songs are just too good, man. They're just too good. Oh, my old answer would have been His World, but it's not His World anymore. The Sonic Frontier songs have really gotten me. I don't know which Sonic Frontier song though. Hang on. I need to remind myself of the names. 1 minute. Undefeatable is one of my favorites. What's the? Is it Find Your Flame? Yeah, Find Your Flame is another favorite. I love that one a lot. Those two in particular
Yeah.
have been my favorite Sonic songs. Like Sonic Frontiers has really outdone themselves. Another Sonic song that I really like that's an older song is Free from Sonic Riders. I think it was Sonic Free Riders actually. Yeah. That's a really good
Goated.
song, and that was the song that got me into Sonic.
Goated song. Well,
Yeah.
personally, like because it still is. But if we're gonna talk about the classics, it's gonna be "Open Your Heart" for me,
Open Your Heart's
and
good.
yeah, and His World, and as well "Live and Learn."
Live
But
and Learn is
from
iconic.
yeah, and from when it comes to Frontiers, definitely the two that you mentioned, "Undefeatable" and "Find Your Flame." Oh, and I'm here.
I'm Here. The new version of I'm
new
Here
version
really
is
got me
perfect.
bad. It was so good.
Yeah.
No, the Sonic songs, they're just too good. They're one of my favorite things about the whole Sonic franchise, their songs.
The songs are everything.
Yes, definitely.
the yeah, like Sonic Frontiers, they did not need to go that hard, but they did, and I
Yeah.
They literally took the challenge of, you want us to go even harder? Of course, we can do that. And then went in and created like literally the best version of I'm Here.
Literally, they did.
You know what's even funny? I find very odd that mostly because it's so namey coded, the more you like listen to it, that people doesn't even talk about Vandalize.
Oh, Vandalize was good.
It's so underrated. Like, wow, it's literally like the first song we heard during those trailers, and nobody speaks about that. It's one of my favorite too.
No, you're right.
Yeah, very underrated.
Ooh. Let's see if I see a question in the chat, and it's by Creative Delilah. I have a question for Tara. So the question is, do you regret or wish you could change something you did or made when you were doing your stories?
Yeah. I got one fanfic that popped in my head the moment you said that question. I do regret Sonic at College, really. That's the one fanfic I regret. I know it's a fun project for a lot of people out there, but it's a fanfic I sort of regret because I wouldn't write Sonic and Amy the way I did in there, because I feel like everything that got built up in Sonic at High School just kind of went crumbling in Sonic at College. So now I look back at it and I'm like, let's just pretend Sonic at College didn't happen. Because like it was a project I was looking forward to do, and I had long-term plans for it, but it came to the point it was just overwhelming for me and I just didn't want to do it in the end. So that's the one project I do regret doing. So, I'm sorry to any Sonic at College fans.
Ooh.
Big oaf.
Sonic at College is just a meme to me now.
Oh. Oh, Kenny, I see another question in the chat by Pony Ranger. Do you want to read that
Of
one?
course. So Pony Ranger is asking to TarasDiary, what is your favorite Tsunami project?
Oh.
Ooh,
Choice
this
of
is
the
a
Rose.
one.
Choice of the Rose, 100%. Choice of the Rose will always be my favorite. I'm still waiting for a project to top that. It's always been a personal favorite of mine. I really loved writing Choice of the Rose, and I know it's a huge favorite from a lot of people who watch my channel. It was a project I enjoyed writing. I had way too many ideas for it, and it flowed the exact way I wanted it to. I will always enjoy Choice of the Rose. It's a really huge part of me, and I've really had fun with it. And I also I was honored that their username used to be Pirate Potter. I think it's Manga Pirate now. They used to do animations for Choice of Rose as well. Like they did fan animations, and they were so cool. And it just made the project even feel more special. I really had fun with it. It's a huge project to me.
Yeah, it's amazing. I personally like that as well.
Yeah. If I were to ever like remaster any of my old fanfics, it would be Choice of Rose. If I ever had time, of course.
Mm.
I can wait for that.
I know a lot of people would love that. I know a lot of people
Yeah.
would love that. It would
I mean, we
take a
already
long
love.
time.
Yeah, I mean, our people love the OG, so
Yeah.
we're gonna love the remaster even more.
Yeah.
Like I thought it's such a cute story, like Choice of a Rose. So I was like, oh my gosh. I was like, they actually put they actually put them like with the rose aesthetic. I was like,
Yeah.
adorable. I'm like, oh, so it's the was he like a prince? I think, right? Sonic was.
Yeah, he was engaged to Sally in that. I think he was counting as a prince because of his family, because I was associating his family with the Sonic Underground series.
Mm,
So I think I did class him as a prince from that.
okay. I just wanted to be sure. It's been a long time since I've seen that.
Same, don't worry. My
Same.
memory for my
It's
old
been a
fanfics is
while.
just as bad.
Ooh, okay. I see another question in the chat. Wait, I think yeah, it was Ghost Tracker 2. I've got a question. Would you add time travel in future stories? Just curious.
Mm, I'd like to, but time travel is so complex when you bring it to plots. It depends, I guess, especially with how much I want to make Silver a major importance to any plots. I don't know. Like, it depends because time traveling is definitely a difficult topic to write about. Because I do like it watching it in films, but I also like overthink it now, thinking if this happens in this time, then what happens? I overthink it, so I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. I don't have a definite answer for that one.
That's understandable. Yeah, like time travel
Yeah.
is like whenever you write that in a story, you are always going to get your audience confused.
Yeah. There'll
Like,
always be questions about something.
like they're gonna be
Ye-
like, oh, if I change, if the characters change this, does it create a branching timeline?
Yeah. It is a fun plot to add for. I do agree that time traveling is fun.
Yeah, but sometimes it
Yeah.
can get so convoluted where it's like,
Yes.
what's going on here? Like, we've seen it so many times. Like, I remember when they introduced it in the MCU. I'm like, uh-oh.
I'm just picturing my co-writer CJ's reaction to this right now. She's a huge fan of the time travel plot. Sarcastically saying that. She shakes her head to the MCU time travel plot.
She's like, no, no, no.
Yeah, she's my co-writer. So if I think of time travel, she'll probably be like, nope.
What's even funnier is if a character like goes to the past of the future, stuff like that, and the character that was supposed to be dead just casually appears again, and then it
Yeah.
goes from there, and you're like, what is happening?
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it's very complex, so I get you on that one.
Yeah.
Ooh, okay. I see another question in the chat. Kenny, do you want to read that one?
Oh, of course. This one is from the Swift Fan 18, and they're asking, when it comes to storytelling, what are some of your favorite tropes?
My favorite tropes. I'm being dumb actually. What's an example of a trope? I'm sorry, I'm being a bit dumb here.
You're
Is
okay,
it-
don't worry.
But like maybe kind of like a typical trope, like, oh, like the beauty falls in love with the nerd type of
Oh,
trope.
right, got you.
Yeah, like the dynamic you like in a character or a group of characters.
That's a good question. I think I've got too many answers to that one. I always like. I definitely have become someone who likes to drag things out. I kind of like romance to kind of drag a little bit now, like build it up. I really like the haters to lovers, enemies to lovers one. Enemies to lovers trope is kind of fun. I like to sometimes do that with Sonic and Amy. Like they're not enemies, but like they can't stand each other in a way. I like to do that quite often. It's just very fun. Sometimes friends to lovers is nice as well. I don't like it when it's easy. I've got to make it difficult for whether the main pair is, but most of the usual tropes I like.
Yeah.
I did that in Choice of Rose actually, yeah. Technically enemies to lovers because Amy and Sonic at first were quote unquote enemies. Yeah, that's probably the main one I like. Other tropes, I don't know. I just I just seem to like to bring drama in, and then
Well,
there's love.
because I know there's also Disney tropes, that like, oh, it's like usually Disney princesses get married at the end.
Yeah.
So there's that trope.
Um, I'm trying to think what else there is. My mind's blank on of anything else. I'm trying to. Sorry about that.
No,
That's
it's
okay.
okay. It's usually about what the type of dynamic that you like on a character or a
Mm,
group of characters. Like, how do you like them to act?
I
definitely.
definitely like to make Amy a little more mature. I definitely do that in the fanfics. I try to give Amy a bit more of a mature look, but I also try to still add in her energetic and passionate side. Um, I had a thing for writing Sonic in a bad way back then. My co-writer now writes Sonic, so that's fine. But back then, I used to write Sonic in like a "I'm a cool guy who doesn't care" kind of thing. Like I used to write him like um very cocky, like a bit more cocky than usual. And at first, he would be the type of "I don't care guy, I'm cool." And I also kind of like Sonic being very surrounded by fangirls and such. I don't know why I like to look at Sonic live. Like he sometimes also comes across as a ladies' man to me in my fanfics. Not like he actually wants to date women, but he would like flirt a lot. But he's just like always on the run. I kind of like to do Sonic like that as well.
I'm too cool for romance. I'm sorry,
Yeah,
Amy.
typical romance, yeah. And
Yeah.
sometimes I do like to make Amy to be the hard to get one sometimes. Kind of like a mix of both. Like I also like to make Amy a bit too serious sometimes. Like I've noticed in some fanfics I start Amy off a bit too like strict and closed off and annoyed, but as she knows Sonic more, she softens up. I like to do that with her as well.
Oh,
Yeah, I like to soften Amy up throughout the fanfics.
I actually love how you did it in Sonic and Thumbelina. Like that was
Yeah.
like they were butting heads at first, and it's
Yeah.
like and then they're slowly learning to respect each other, and it's like, oh yeah, eventually they're gonna end up getting together. I love the progression throughout that multi-series that you did.
Thank you.
I was
Yeah, I
like,
had fun with them in Thumbelina. Just like have them just go from a technically an enemies to lovers trope where they just could not stand each other, but then slowly they just ended up being in love with each other. And Amy, I intentionally made Amy's design more colorful and girly at the end to kind of show she's opening up more into a softer side to Sonic because she was just wearing like I think it was like a dark green top and some jeans at the start because she was I kind of wanted to represent her a bit like closed off in a way.
mhm.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
the enemies to lovers trope is my personal favorite dynamic because
Yeah.
you can like pretty much like play it out like, oh my god, they cannot stand each other, and that's the part of why they love each other so much. Like that hate is so strong that they just literally can live without each other. And that's
Yes.
literally the best part of it. And I'm like, oh my god, yes, this is perfect.
Yeah. I'm such a sucker for romance, so it's just chef's
Same.
kiss.
The
Yeah.
way though, it kind of reminds me of like Ross and Rachel from Friends, where it's like
Oh,
adopting. It's like I hate him, I love him, I hate him, I love him.
oh, you just
Like they go back and forth.
I
And,
am a huge Friends fan. I love
yeah,
Friends.
like the Ross and Rachel thing. When you were talking about like, oh, especially when they have like a rocky relationship, like everyone always puts, oh yeah, it's a Ross and Rachel thing.
Yes, we were on a break. Oh, I love Friends. I've actually binge watched a whole series like I think 3 months ago now.
Ooh.
Oh, I'm obsessed with it. I love Ross and Rachel especially.
Yeah. Ooh, here's my next question for you, Tara. How did you come up with the concept of Amy's sister Anella and her backstory for your fan fiction? I'm very curious.
I can't take the full credit for this one because Anella was actually created by my co-writer CJ, aka Howling Moon 08 in the live chat. CJ was the one who brought in Anella into our alternate universe that we share together in our role plays. And I don't know how she came up with Anella, but CJ like just came up with this huge backstory for her. And reason why I made my sister was it was a birthday gift to CJ, and I wanted to like show off what CJ created to the world because she's really good at creating OCs and creating different lore. And I really do like the fact that Amy has a sister with this really deep lore that she was made through science, and she's also like got her own unique powers, and she technically wasn't made to destroy Memphis, but instead it turned into a love story. I can't really fully answer it for CJ, but she's the one who created Anello and her lore.
I love the backstory.
Same.
Like
It
the
was
backstory is so
angsty.
Yeah. I definitely give a huge credit to her. I just basically put it on the big picture with the visuals and vocals.
It's really impressive. Like I think what I love about it is that like especially we kind of see through Mephis's story, the fan
Yeah.
for that, and we kind of see from his perspective that like, oh, Amy's father, I made a deal with him for me to have like, a lover, right?
Yeah.
And then I'm just like, whoa, I was like, Amy's father's pretty cruel for doing that.
Yes. Yes.
I was like, man. But the most ironic thing I find about it is that even though Amy and Sonic's fathers had like an alliance, right? Because that
Yeah.
was what was said. I'm still trying to comprehend and understand how come Amy's father does not approve of Sonic, even though he's the son.
Basically, I feel like the reason why I'm saying I feel like because CJ is also a bit responsible for some of the characters. Arthur's very protective of both his daughters. So like any other guy who basically is going for his daughters, he's just been a bit too overprotective. So that's the kind of relationship he has with Sonic. He doesn't hate Sonic. It's more of that, oh, that's my little girl. You can't mess around. Plus, because he knows his father, Jules, he knows how Jules is. Like they don't like see eye to eye all the time. Him and Jules, like they weren't best friends. They just kind of like worked together with their kingdoms. So because he was aware of how Jules was, he was a little bit concerned of Sonic at the same time.
Yeah.
The typical thing fathers does is
Yes.
literally normal. Don't worry. It's not a normal thing.
Like he's kind of like, I'm watching you, man.
Yes.
Like he's giving.
Be careful what you do to my daughter.
Yeah, that's another trope we like to do, where the dad's a very overprotective, strict dad, and the guy is just like sweating all the time. Yeah, that's the trope for him and Sonic.
But that's understandable. At least he has a good reason because he's like, he knows how Jules is. He's like, I don't know if I can trust his son with my daughter.
Yes.
So like I'm very curious how is Jules like personality in the story that in that fan fiction? I'm curious.
Jules and Sonic have quite a distant relationship. So like Sonic has a bit of a distance with most of his family because in like most of the Sonic franchises, we see Sonic not really having a family. Like the only time he does is in the Archie comics and the Underground series. And CJ is the one who's responsible for Sonic in that alternate universe. I'm giving a lot of credit to CJ. I'm so sorry, I should have brought CJ on this. But basically, Sonic seems to be like the type of guy who goes his own way, and he's had a bit of a tough upbringing with his family because his family is all royalty, And because they're royalty, they didn't give much attention to their own kids, including Sonic. So what we did in our alternate universe is where Sonic actually got raised by his uncle Chuck. And his father figure is actually Uncle Chuck and not Jules. So Sonic instead has like a tough relationship with his father, and Jules has tried to somewhat bond with Sonic, but in a more royalty way, a strict way. And it's not in the way Sonic likes. So like he wasn't like the best dad either. Like I'd say he's similar to Arthur in a way, but I don't know if he's worse or not. Like both the royal dads kind of had a bit of an issue being an actual father because they were so focused on their duties and such. That's how we kind of wrote him. Like he has made some mistakes though. Like Jules has like I think there was a point in the AU that me and CJ wrote about. I think he was disapproving of the relationship Sonic had with Amy. I don't remember because we've been writing this AU for like nearly 10 years now. So a lot's like gone off in it. But he's definitely had a very difficult relationship with Sonic, I would say, like a difficult, distant relationship.
Now it makes more sense. Yeah.
Because
yes.
When Mephiles was telling the story, it's like, we get to learn that side of it where it's like, And then I'm kind of like, I was like, he has an alliance with Sonic's father. So I'm like, But at least now we have a better idea of, he's concerned that Sonic might behave just like his dad,
Yeah.
So it's totally understandable because it's kind of, it's like, it is the typical trope of the overprotective dad. Like, you do something, I'm watching you.
Yeah.
Like, I'm watching you. If you hurt her, you're going down, man.
Yeah. It also definitely connects
Sonic all over the place.
Yeah. It also connects to the backstory with Anella and Mephiles. So because like he lost Anella somewhat because of Mephiles, he also kind of didn't want to lose Amy in a way. And in My Sister, he only just got Amy back in his life because Amy got kidnapped and she got back in his life. And while he's grateful to Sonic for finding them and reuniting them, he's like, yeah, but that's my girl, not your girl. You got him. How come you get to have her most of her life, but not me?
Well, it was explained in the My Sister fan fiction that like, I got taken away as a child, and then that's how she ended up meeting Sonic. So
yeah.
So it's kind of like it was fate bringing them together.
Yeah.
Destined Together reference? Ooh. That's a huge reference right there.
Yes. Yes, it is.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I really like how you guys wrote the story for Mephiles because I personally dislike Mephiles way back in 06 and how he acted because he was like too much evil for me, and I was like, this guy must have a reason to be this evil or something, but no, he's just literally somebody who's completely out of darkness. And I'm like, oh my goodness. And then you came in with this idea of him being a misunderstood individual that just wanted to fall in love with Anella. And I'm like, oh my God, now I see everything different from him now. Like, oh my God, there's no way he's actually good. This man literally tried to kill many people like in that one game, and now it's different.
Yeah, I definitely owe a lot of that to CJ as well. Like CJ has written a few of the characters in AU. She's written for Mephiles, Anella, Sonic, etc. And CJ at first didn't like Mephiles either, but because of me, because I'm such a Sonic 06 fan, so I always go on about 06 and Mephiles and everything, and it slowly convinced CJ to actually write Mephiles seriously. Because I just look at Mephiles and I'm like, he's just a guy, man. Like he was upset. He was upset in 06. The scientists disturbed him in 06. So it just eventually became a thing in our AU because I used to really paint Mephiles in a high light, and it eventually encouraged CJ to write him like that. I definitely do give a huge credit to CJ. She's
Yeah, CJ did
little
an
creative
amazing
mind.
job writing Mephiles. And I'll be honest,
Yeah.
like he's just my man is so evil. Like he literally what? He just kills Sonic on the spot, and I'm like, bro, this man
Yeah.
kills Sonic. What do you mean he's good?
Yeah.
But yeah, he's definitely so far like literally the best interpretations of how Mephiles actually is so far is yours. Like,
Thank
wow.
you.
Yeah.
Ooh, Kenny, do you have another question for Tara?
Yes, I do. This is from from the chat, by the way. From the fluffy nerd. They're asking, what is the one franchise you would like to do a comic dub of, or if it's a new AU besides Sonic?
Ooh.
A different franchise. I've always wanted to do like fairy tale comic dubs, to be honest. I've always wanted to do that, but it's kind of harder to find fan-made fairy tale comics, or maybe we might voice a manga. I don't know, because like I've always been intimidated to do fairy tale comic dubs because I feel like it's harder to do the voices from fairy tale, but we've not tried it. And fairy tale, despite I've not watched the anime series in a long while, it's always been like a huge place in my heart, and that's been something I'd love to finally bring on the channel one day. I keep saying this, but I haven't done it yet. But fairy tales is something I would like to bring on. There's Miraculous Ladybug as well, but at the moment, my Miraculous Ladybug hype has died down while Miraculous Ladybug is on its hiatus. But it'll probably go back up once season 6 happens. I have a lot of different franchises I'm really interested. At the moment, I'm going through my Bridgerton hype moment because it's Bridgerton season. I don't know if I'd ever do a Bridgerton dub on the channel. I don't know. I'm into so many different things that it's a bit weird because like not many of them connect well together. I think the main franchise that connects well with the Sonic franchise is Fairy Tail, because there are a couple of Sonic fans that are also Fairy Tail fans. But other things like Bridgerton and Miraculous Ladybug's a little bit of a stretch.
Ooh, interesting.
That sounds great.
I love Miraculous.
Oh, I love
my
Miraculous so
God,
much.
same.
Like Miraculous, like the movie was phenomenal.
The movie.
Yeah.
I was not expecting it to go that hard. I was just like, oh my gosh, just like, why are the characters a lot better in the movie?
Yes, I agree. I think they were written so much better.
Like they did so much better in the movie, like in the series, and I was like, wait a second, am I watching the actual Miraculous?
Yeah.
Like, oh my God.
It took me a couple of weeks to recover from what I've watched in the Miraculous movie. Like it was just perfection. Just perfection. I loved it, and I really can't wait for him to do a sequel, because it looks like they're going to do a sequel with the way it ended. I really hope it is. I just loved it because like
they have to. That was a cliffhanger right there.
yeah, because as I've been a Miraculous Ladybug fan since the beginning, and like it's taken us years and years to get to the point where Adrian and Marinette are now canon in the series, but in the movie, it just took that one movie to get a lot of things happening. And I'm like, why couldn't this happen in the series?
Yeah, like
they were like building up for this moment. They were saying, you know what? Yeah, let's do it this way, and then we're gonna like do a plot twist in the movie, and everybody will just go crazy, and we get stonks on that one.
yeah, like I think what I love is the character portrayals in that movie. Like
Yes.
I love the way they portray Marinette. Like she's like a very shy introvert. And then Adrian, oh my gosh, they nailed him a lot better.
Yes.
Like the fact is that when they first meet, it's like when it's awkward, he's like, oh, she's weird, right? Like he's actually has a normal response to like, she's acting weird. It's like I probably won't see her again. Like he doesn't give her a second thought, and then it's like, oh, and then with it's like the movie was just phenomenal. Like and I think my favorite character portrayal is Gabriel.
Oh my god, they did Gabriel so amazing. I love how they've written all the characters in this so much. Like I also liked how Marinette and Adrian were to each other. Like I feel like there's been times throughout the series where Ladybug's a bit too harsh to Chat, but I like that this time Ladybug gently rejects Chat and actually does kind of consider his feelings.
Mhm.
And the music video with Ladybug and Chat Noir where they're dancing in the clouds and everything. Oh, it took me weeks to get over it. I loved it. It was so beautiful. I was like screaming and squealing and crying for it all.
Yeah, I always like when Adrian and Marinette became canon, I was just like, when is Sonic and Amy gonna be canon?
Yes.
I was gonna mention that. Like, I love how the their relationship reminds me a lot of Sonami. Like,
Yes.
when they're in their normal state, you know, like when they're Adrian and Marinette, and they're like, oh yeah, we're friends, yada yada yada. But when they're transformed, they get all flirty and stuff. Like, Ladybug is like, no, you're not my type. But when I'm Marinette, oh yeah, you're my type, definitely. And I'm like, okay, make up your mind. Are you in love with him? Are you not in love with him? What is happening? It's the same person. And the fact they don't know it about it is just perfect for me. And I'm like, oh my God, I can't wait for them to know who is who.
Yes.
And eventually let things happen. But yeah, that's literally the best part. And it reminds me a lot of Sanemi in that some aspects. That's really amazing.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I think I saw some questions, and yeah, I saw a question in the chat from Sky. If you had the time, would you do another fix centered around another Sonic ship like you did with Tails, X Cream, and in Sonic and Thumbelina? Ooh, that's a great question.
Maybe if I had more time, maybe. It would either be Shadow X Rouge or Silver X Blaze that would get the next focus. It would be one of them. Probably be more fair if it was Silver X Blaze, because technically Shadow and Rouge did have a bit more extra focus in a very old fanfic series called Fave. But maybe if I did have more time, because I do have plans to focus on Sonic Fantasy, which is the next major big series on the channel.
Ooh. I love that one, the Sonic and Thumbelina. I love how it focused on Tails, X Cream. I think I think they were like the perfect characters to do it with. Like,
Yeah. Oh,
like,
Thumbelina was so
Little
fun.
Goobers in love. Oh.
I loved doing it. Thumbelina was a really fun series to do with a lot of different artists and voice actors. I really had fun with that series, and I definitely do find Cream was definitely the perfect Thumbelina. I still think it would have been all right with Amy as Thumbelina, but I feel like Cream was definitely the perfect fit for Thumbelina. And it's nice to have Cream and Tails have their own focus rather than just Sonic and Amy.
because when you think about it, like I love the way Sonic and Amy banter in that one too.
Yes.
I was like, even though they're not the main focus, I was like, hey, I still loved it because they're bantering, and then like you know they're about to get close, and then you just see Tails and Cream running from Knuckles.
Yes.
Sonic's like, and it's like Knuckles like, hi, Sonic, what are you doing? That part got me. I was just like, I love this. It's like it was great to focus on another. It was it was great to focus on Tails and Cream, and then you just have Sonic questioning, Knuckles, what are you doing, man?
Yeah, Knuckles was just being Knuckles there. Like the chaotix, Rouge, Knuckles, like some of the quote unquote villains of the story, they were just there for fun in a way. Like they just had their comedic moments.
I'm very curious in that moment, Tara, in Sonic and Thumbelina, where like I think Mephiles was dressed in a bright color, like formal outfit, and then Silver's just like showing on his knee, and he's like, "Ew."
Oh my God.
I was curious about that.
It was just kind of a joke just between me and CJ with that one, like, because we kind of throughout this series we had Mephiles more portrayed that he's only interested in men. But at the end of the series, we wanted to reveal, oh no, he's interested in both sides. And so we just wanted Silver just being Silver because Silver just thought Mephiles was a woman in that situation. Just Silver being Silver. And Mephiles just like, no, go away, ew.
Silver being the chaotic younger brother.
Yes.
Yeah. I think my favorite part was like literally when Amy misunderstood that Sonic was in love with Sally, and then like Sonic's like, "Hey," right? And then he's like, he was about to confess, and then Silver just barges in their conversation, and then he just like Sonic goes into his like tangent, and then Silver's like, "You do realize she's right there, right?"
Big moment there. And he's like, oh,
I love writing Silver as a chaotic character. Like, he used to be more mature and normal in the older fanfics, but I do think Josh, who voices Silver, has encouraged me to write Silver more chaotic than he usually would be. And half the time when I do write Silver in the fanfics, Josh likes to sometimes add his own little improvisation in. It's just become a point and a very regular trend on this channel that Silver's just a very chaotic guy. And
the one guy
I've
that
also
barges in everything.
yes. I was also quite inspired by there are some other content creators, some other side content creators that also represent Silver in a very chaotic way. Like Belina Productions with Christmas with Sonic. I love how Silver's portrayed in it way too
Oh, yeah.
much. That's one of the inspirations for Silver being the way he is. It's just I just like Silver. He seems like he'd be a funny guy, even though he's such an innocent baby in the actual series.
Definitely. I always seen him like that, like an innocent, very powerful nerd. That's how I usually see him. Like he's aware that he can literally like do anything, but at the same time refuses to because he's just a goober. He's just a little goober.
He's just a little guy.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I see another question in the chat, Kenny. Do you want to read that one?
Of course. This is from the Red Spikes 17. And they're asking, hey Tara, want to say it's been a long time watcher since a Tsunami story. And they're asking, so what is your favorite Tsunami moment in the series?
Ooh.
Hello. What's my favorite Sonic moment in the series? In the Sonic game series? Or in the
yeah, it's
Tsunami story?
The Tsunami story, I think, yeah.
In the story of Tsunami. See if my memory clicks on. Can't be too bad. I did recently. Well, I say recently. It's been a year since I've rewatched it. Sorry, Tsunami. What's my favorite part from it? Give my brain a moment to think. I have a great memory, in case you couldn't tell. I guess I really liked the Kiss the Girl scene a lot from the story of Tsunami. I really liked that one. And I liked the final battle with Sonic and Amy, where they're both fighting together. I like those two moments in particular. Kiss the Girl scene, because it's just a romantic scene where Sonic and Amy, even though pretty much their friends' lives are in danger and the world is at risk, they take a moment to like forget about that and actually focus on one another. And like the way I was picturing the scene is like there's fireflies in the forest and and Sonic's actually realizing his feelings for Amy there. And they would have ended up actually having a kiss there, but Sally told Eggman to stop them. And I just like that in the final battle they both really were like going all out. I really had fun with the final battle as well. Those two moments were really fun.
Nice.
That's really great. Yeah.
There's so many memorable Tsunami moments in your fan fiction.
Yeah.
Content that I'm trying to think of some of my favorite ones. Like I think of course, the one where Silver barges in their moment in Sonic and Thumbelina. Yeah. Um, and then Silver had to ruin it by saying, "Oh my gosh, there's kids here." He's like, "What food?" It's like it's not like they're getting frisky or anything. They're just doing a guess. Like, and I think the one in Sonic and Halloween, because I think they lost their memories, right? When they got sucked into the book, and then
Yes.
and then when Sonic as a werehog was on top of Amy, they actually both got their memories. I'm like, oh, this is beautiful. I'm like, Netflix, why you gotta ruin the moment?
It's very common for Sonic and Amy to have their moment ruined by another character on the channel. It's very, very often.
It's like, bro, it's like, why can't you let me bask in the moment?
They don't catch a break.
Yeah.
I just feel bad about them. Like every time I want to have like the romantic moment, either is Silver or Methyl is trying to get in the way. Like, please let them be.
Yeah. Like for sure. Like those are like my favorite Sonic moments in your fan fiction content.
Thank you.
Ooh, okay. Let's see. I'm not sure I understand this question, but it's by Ghost Tracker 2. Would we see a remaster in Faith?
I understand that question. Probably not. But it's a very nice question though to know that you like Faith a lot though. The main reason why I don't consider doing a remaster for most of my old projects is because like it's just time, and it's because I don't have as much time as I used to now. I've got a lot of stuff going on, and I also like to try focus more on newer projects. But if I ever had time, like if I had so much time in the world, I would happily remaster all my fanfics, but it would really hold me back from being able to do new things. And then I feel like I'd be stuck in a cycle, just always doing the old stuff.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, okay. Um, Kenny, do you want to read the next question in the chat? Another question by the Red Spike 17.
Okay, I got it. Yeah. All right. So they're asking once again, what Sonic game do you think is underrated?
Ooh, that's a great question.
Can I say Sonic 06?
That's fine.
Sonic 06 is just misunderstood. I don't know if it classifies as underrated though nowadays, because like 06 does have a lot of attention, so I don't know if that classes as one. I'm trying to think if there's a less popular Sonic game I could answer that. Would Sonic Fighters count as an answer? I also liked Sonic Fighters a lot. I'm trying to think of a less popular game, because I know as much as 06 is one of those games that gets a lot of hate on, it is a very popular game in a way.
I do
But
believe like the most underrated one that I can know of, I believe, geez, which one was it? Oh my God, I forgot. But mostly I see Sonic Rush being underrated.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd class that as one.
Doesn't speak very much about it. And oh dear, which one? Which one? Colors does count.
Yeah, colors, yeah.
Yeah. The Sonic Forces counts as well. I'm sorry, I personally like Forces.
I understand how you feel. That's how I am with 06.
Yeah, with 06, it's kind of like you could count it as underrated because, like you said, Tara, it's very misunderstood, and the development was not that great on the game, which is
No, it definitely wasn't.
So that's why it gets a lot of flack. But
I really just loved it. It was just fun for me. With all the glitches and everything, it's just funny. I love it.
Yeah, like it pretty much Sonic 06 is pretty much like a meme at this point where it's like, oh, because I think like I told my other friend that like, yeah, you're just gonna be playing through loading screens. Good luck.
Yeah, they are not wrong.
Oh my gosh, but yeah, that's but yeah, yeah, those are good. Yeah, that's a good answer. I would say Sonic 06. It's like you could say it's just a a meme in itself because of
Yeah.
what it is because of its like development development makeup, you know.
I just really loved it a lot because I think one of the main reasons I have a soft spot for Osek is because it's one of my actual first Sonic games I really got into as a kid. Like I just had this Xbox 360 game, Sonic 06, and I actually ended up completing it twice, I believe. And it was one of the first games I actually got really into before I became a huge Sonic fan. So I think that's one of the main reasons I have a soft spot for it. But I also really liked Silver's and Shadow's story in it. Not a fan of Sonic's story, of course, but I did like how Shadow especially was written. I feel like Shadow was really written well in that.
Like that's something I think most people agree with. Like people give Sonic 06 a lot of bad rep for it, but they also mentioned, yeah, Shadow was written the best in 06.
Yeah, he was. I really loved how he was, and I also liked the bond with Team Dark, especially. I think that's also what made me a Shadow X Rouge fan because 06 was one of the first games I was really into, so seeing the way Shadow and Rouge bonded them made me ship them. And Sonic Heroes was another game I got into first before being a huge Sonic fan. So I kind of got introduced with Shadow and Rouge scene together, and I'm like, oh, these two seem to work well together.
But I think the funny bit of dialogue where it's like Rouge is like, "Hey, don't you want to know what this is?" It's like, "My orders was to rescue you and nothing." I was like, that is all." It's like, "Fine, with you it's always business." It's just like, "You don't want to know what I'm holding in my hands, mister?" Excuse me. And then but in a way though, Shadow is kind of forced to know about it because yeah, the place was sealed inside of it. So forced to regardless. It's like but yeah, um but yeah, that's something I can agree with. It's like you could say '06 is underrated, you know, for the reasons.
Yeah,
It's no use.
it's no use.
Okay.
Oh god, the Silver versus Sonic battle.
Yeah,
That
that
one
was
gives
terrible.
good memories.
Yeah. That was terrible. But bro, like, let's just say, like, Silver was literally spamming you, and you were like, "Let me at least stand up, please."
Yeah, if you're in midair, that's it. It's over.
I was like,
Definitely.
oh my gosh, but yeah, that's but but that's a good answer, you know, because I like I love the way that that Memphis is portrayed in your fan fiction. So it's like, hey, he's given a little bit more like in depth, you know, from your guys, from you and CJ's perspective, and I'm like, I
Yeah.
like this. It's like it makes him a little bit more realistic. You know, it's not, oh, I'm doing it because I'm just an entity, you know.
Yeah.
Anything, it's like I'm an entity with feelings and stuff. So, and I think you truly captured that in Mephilis's story fan fiction where Amy is trying to like, hey, you need to or like it's like you need to stop going after my family. You know, it's like Anella is here now. She's free, you know?
Yeah. Thank
And
you.
yeah, like and the fact is that like I think my favorite part in that fan fiction is like when Mephiles is like, oh yeah, Sonic is teaching me how to be a good guy. Like, oh, and then but then he said, but I guess that's payback for what I did to him.
See, he sees that as even through his perspective.
Yeah, he's kind of like saying, yeah. He's like, okay, it's like I guess I deserve it because I kept tormenting him. I was like, So I'm presuming that he's like, yeah. Like I always go back to that one. It's like my favorite,
Oh,
so
I'm glad. It means a lot because it's one of the recent projects as well. It was a really fun project to work with. It was definitely mostly coming off from what CJ originally came up with in the AU we did. It was another gift for her, so I tried to like rewrite it from a lot of memory requirement because I had to go through a lot of past conversations to see like what happened here and there and like make up some other situations and then add some text that was originally written in our role play like years ago. Like the Amy and Methel's conversation was written by both me and CJ in that scene. Like it was something we both role played out where she was writing as Methel's and I was writing as Amy. So it was really nice to finally get Methel's story out there. Because oh sorry, it's because since my sister, like, we wanted to try answer the question of like, where did Mephistopheles come from being Anella's love interest? I wanted to try bring that in.
hmm it
Yeah.
I loved it because it's like I want to hear from his perspective. Like, why was he like, like why was he tormenting, Amy,
Yeah.
right? And it's like, oh, okay, yeah, it's because Amy and Anella's father was pretty much pretty much a jerk.
Yes, he is definitely a jerk.
So it's like I was like, okay, that's very justifiable then. And of course, I love the build up conversation between Amy and Mephiles in that scene where and then he's like, because I thought they killed her. I'm like, oh snap. Like you could just feel like the emotion of that building up. Like he's trying to like dismiss all of Amy's like claims.
Yeah.
And then
I also definitely owe credit to Manny for voicing Mephiles there. He does an amazing job delivering Mephiles' emotion.
and like and then as soon as like you in the AU that like Anella and Mephiles are expecting, and it's like Arthur's still being a jerk. Oh yeah, go. He doesn't want the baby to be born. I'm like, yeah. I think we really need to hate Amy and Anella's father at this.
Yeah. Yeah. I can just feel CJ secretly grinning at that right now.
It's kind of like, I was like, I think they're really trying to make us hate him so much.
Yeah.
Where it's like, I'm like, okay, yeah. Like the fact is that like Sonic, like in the My Sister, when Amy visits her parents and then Sonic's face is like, like, oh, oh my god. It's like you just called me out so bad.
I know she's grinning. It's because three of my team are with each other in real life right now. CJ, Leo, and Cav, those three are together in real life, and they're part of the team as well. So CJ's currently just grinning in front of those two. Yeah, CJ, a lot of your writing's getting called out in a good way.
But I think I'm very curious still, like, what decided for the AU for Amy to be a princess? I'm very curious to know this backstory of that.
The part of this is because I just love princess stuff, so that's definitely because of me. I always felt like Amy's personality would suit a princess. Like I always pictured Amy as this cute, quirky, very passionate princess. Like she wouldn't be like a typical stand up royal where like she has to follow the rules or something. I feel like Amy would be the type of princess you would see in Disney films where she's not going to follow the rules, she's going to do it her way. And I just always looked at her like I feel like she would be such a cute princess. Like I feel like she would be very passionate about it. And I also look at Amy as someone who would love to be queen, but I also like this idea because it kind of contrasts with what Sonic wants, because Sonic is completely against being royal. He doesn't like being royal, but he also loves Amy. And there is a plot we might someday write and bring on YouTube, because this is something we've done in the alternate universe privately, where there was a time where Amy was like temporarily queen and she actually really wants to be queen, but Sonic's felt like, but I don't think I want to be king though, Amy. Like, because he sees how well it's also, Amy is like a very passionate leader. I also see Amy as someone who's really great at leading people. I feel like she's just got it all. She's got the princess vibes, and I just feel like it really fits her well. So I always like to put her as a somewhat princess somewhere in fanfics. And the idea for that in the AU with Methla's story, my sister, etc., that came from Choice with Rose a bit. Like, it got a bit inspired from that, because I really liked Amy being the lost princess from Choice with Rose. So I kind of wanted to add that into this AU as well, because I wanted to bring back her parents, because Arthur was actually from Choice with Rose originally, and he was written a lot differently back, because I was in charge of Arthur back then. But when I brought back Arthur and Rosetta, her parents, to the AU, I wanted to try like bring a different version of the story in. I just felt like I just feel like she just fits it really well. A leader who is passionate in what she does. And also because the romantic dorky side of me wants to include it. I'm such a huge romance dork who wants to include the princess who really loves her hero.
I need a hero.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, that came to
You're
mind.
fine. It's a good song.
Yeah, like I totally like can see Amy like singing that song, and it's literally just about Sonic.
Yeah, like because that is definitely difficult because to write because I can see it. It's like, yeah, Sonic is not cut out for royalty. But
No,
it's
he's
like
not.
but at the
No,
same
definitely not. Even if he is, definitely not. I don't see him like sitting all day listening to complaints.
Yeah.
He'd hate it. That's
Yeah.
why, because the law with Sonic and I AU is that he's distant with his original family because they're royals and they didn't have time for him. So he doesn't want to obviously have the same life his family ended up having, where it was so distant because of royalty. So he doesn't want to have that royal life again. But he does love Amy, so he would like do anything for Amy. So if Amy really, really badly wants that, he would do it for her. But Amy also knows how much Sonic loves freedom. So like they both like we kind of show that Sonic and Amy both have to kind of sacrifice something to make the relationship work. Like in normal relationships in the real world, like there's always going to be a contrast somewhere between you and your partner. And Amy has a huge love for being like royalty and princessy and all that such, and Sonic has a huge passion for freedom, always going on the run. So they both slowly mix that together, where Sonic slowly starts to like things that Amy likes, and Amy starts to like the things that Sonic likes, and they both just kind of work well together.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Definitely. That's definitely perfect. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because like it's like you said, it's definitely difficult because like in like a future fan fiction, I would really love to know how this is expanded in their relationship because it's like, yeah, it's like you have mentioned that like, yeah, Sonic's not the royal type, but he loves Amy so much in this AU where
Yeah.
it's like I'm willing to sacrifice, like if that's what you really want, but at the same time, Amy understands Sonic needs to run free.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure Sonic told her at some point that like I don't really have a good relationship with my family, so maybe that's why she's kind of understanding of why
Yeah.
he he probably isn't, but I think it's an interesting future story. I would love to hear.
It definitely would be a fun idea for this time, me and CJ, because I usually do these projects without CJ because they're always like a technically a surprise gift for her, but they ended up being revealed later because I delay them very badly. But I would like to do one with CJ where we actually focus more on Sonic and Amy again, because I feel like Sonic and Amy have only been side characters in a way. In some of them, like My Sister and Method's Story, they're just side characters there, and you see them happily married. And I know a lot of people will be wondering, like, when did they get married? Where did this come from? Like, because it's on the same universe as 12th of July. So I would like to do another Sonomy focused one in that AAU with CJ, where maybe it takes place just before they get married and like how it comes up to that. And they do have a lot of troubles through their relationship throughout time. Like they have had their ups and downs. Like they used to have like really, really bad arguments in our AU, but it's come to the point now where they're a lot more chill currently in our AU. But they've definitely had their ups and downs 100%. And there are some stuff that we would like to bring out to YouTube one day.
Yeah.
That's definitely something I personally like when how like very human it is, like how you make them like have all these arguments and stuff, and then they make up afterwards. Like you can actually like getting into that, and you're like, wow, that's actually something that actually happens with many people. And if they really love each other, they will work it out. At the end of the day. So
I think
it's really perfect.
Thank you. I think it really helps when I'm writing this with CJ. So like there's two different mindsets writing this. So like I have no idea what CJ is going to write next as Sonic, and she has no idea what I'm going to write next as Amy, which makes it feel a bit more realistic in a way. So like it's not just me writing a whole script now for Sonic and Amy where, oh, I know what Sonic's going to say next to Amy. Instead, it feels like I'm actually reacting as Amy to what's next. That I have no idea what CJ's going to say next to Sonic. Like that's what helps add the realism in, because we both literally just write it. We do have sometimes like a plan of what's the objective or something, but usually we just have fun and just go into it, and we just end up creating something from it.
Yeah, it is definitely something I've been seeing so much, and I really like it.
Thank you.
I think the fan fiction that was, I think it was A Gift to You, Tara, by CJ. I'm very curious to know about the thing about trapping Sonic and Amy's engagement ring.
Oh god, I wish I had CJ here. Oh, she would answer that really well. This was definitely something on CJ's side completely, because she's the one responsible for writing Sonic and Mephiles. I feel like that was just Mephiles' cruel way of like showing Sonic that she's gonna marry off to another guy now, and you can live with her for the rest of your life in that ring. That was Mephiles' cruel way back when he was a villain, just to, get back at Sonic. It was just one of his cruel, funny ways, I would say. It was a really creative concept and idea from CJ, though. I really liked that a lot.
Like the fact that Sonic kept saying, like, where I have to watch my wife get married to some other guy. I'm like, I was like,
bro was not having it. Bro was not having it. He was like, oh no.
Yeah, that was definitely Mephiles' way of like trying to crack a little bit of a joke, but a cruel one.
Yeah, definitely.
I think what was hilarious, I think in that one where it's like, I forgot if it was I think it was one, I think with Sonic, like I wonder if Mephiles ever told Anella that Mephiles did try to marry her sister.
Maybe that's a conversation they still need to have, maybe. I feel like Mephiles hasn't exactly been fully honest with Anella yet, but Anella is aware that he's done a lot of bad stuff. So she knows that he's not innocent. But I don't think she knows every little detail properly. I feel like now with the current state our AU's in, I feel like Anella would just like be a bit annoyed and grumpy about it for a bit, but not take it too seriously. They have not had that conversation according to CJ. I'm just giggling at her in the chat, sorry.
I would totally laugh, because it's like, you tried to marry my sister? by
Yes.
by shape shifting into the dude.
Oh, I think she would be very jealous for a while. Yes. Because Anella is like, she can be similar to Amy in a way. Like, Anella's like a calmer version of Amy with the way her personality is. She's a bit more sweeter and softer. But she has her moments where she can be a lot more angrier than Amy. And you do not want to make her angry. Like, Anella's a type of character where she's a little cinnamon bun. Like, she's so sweet and soft. But if you annoy her, you're gonna regret it. Like, that's the type of character that Anella is. So
Like,
it's definitely a thing with the roses in our AU.
because I could just picture it. Like I could just picture it where it's like, oh no, oh no. It was like,
Yeah.
how is she gonna feel
Big
that,
oh no moment.
that her husband tried to marry her little sister?
I generally picture that Anella would find out while she's just wearing a nightgown, and then she just knocks on Sonic and Amy's door, God knows what hour in the morning, and she'd just be like, we need to talk. And she's just really annoyed, and Methless just stood far back with the guiltiest look on his face.
But I was curious, why did Mephiles try to marry Amy? I was trying to understand that aspect of the fan fiction for that one.
It was just to gain power over the kingdom back then, because that was before he knew Anella was alive. So that was just his way of trying to get back at Arthur as well, because his worst enemy in his eyes is Arthur. So he would basically do anything at that point to try take over everything. So he just wanted power back then. It was just a major like screw everybody kind of situation.
Gotcha. Because I'm kind of like, I'm pretty sure Mephiles and Anella did not have this conversation.
No. He's never had that interest for Amy, definitely not. He's
Yeah.
never looked at Amy in that way. He's only had feelings for Anella. The other character, Zach, that was in that project, he does like somewhat have small feelings for Amy, but not nice feelings. Like he's just like that type of, you know, that bad guy kind of trope, that the bad guy likes the nice girl kind of thing, but not for the good reason.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
kind of like that. It's just have a little bit of drama in the plot. Like there's always going to be some guy that's trying to steal somebody's girl. Kind of like that.
That Sonic won't let that happen.
Oh, 100% not. Sonic is very
Yeah, Sonic would
protective
just
with his
pretty
girl.
much. Yeah, Sonic pretty much would be like, "Oh, not on my watch, buddy."
Yeah. Sonic's got a mix. Like sometimes he'll be protective, but he knows how to like handle it herself anyway, because Amy will just literally threaten anybody with a hammer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's a really empathic character by nature, so yeah, that's gonna be something happening there.
Yeah.
Because at least with Sonic, he respects Amy. You know?
Yes.
Like he's like, okay, there are times where I do need to protect her, but I'll step back if she's got this, you know?
Yeah, he's absolutely like that.
Yeah, it's kind of like when it comes to emotional stuff, he knows Amy knows to get through to people with the emotion.
Oh yeah, definitely. Amy's definitely the talker when it comes to emotional situations. And I like to include that in the fanfics because ever since Sonic Adventure 2, with the fact that Amy literally convinced Shadow to not destroy the world, it gave me this idea that Amy is like the type of person who would really convince anybody. Like she knows how to get through to somebody. She's especially with Sonic Adventure 1 as well, with that robot. I forgot the name, was it? It wasn't
Gamma.
Gamma. Like Amy has a soft side where she can understand different perspectives. So that's why I love to include it in the fanfics, and that's why I also included it in Mephiles' story, where Amy was the one who talked to Mephiles, because that's just what she does. She is very emotionally supportive.
That's the best part that I've been loving so far, that even in IDW I've been seeing that she's literally the heart of the group, that
Yes,
always makes sure that everybody's in check. Even Sonic said it himself, I don't even consider myself the leader of my own group, It's
Mhm.
technically Amy or Knuckles to some, to some extent.
I
But
definitely see it, Amy.
yeah, but definitely the one person who actually keeps everybody in check is definitely Amy. So technically, from Team Sonic, she's the leader,
Mhm.
like in her own way. I'm probably the leader when it comes to like the motivation part. Like I'm saying, let's do this. But when it comes to actually have like a what I'll thought or being empathic or having all this emotional stuff is definitely Amy.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Amy's very supportive to everyone.
Yeah.
Like I love the clear indication too with the way that you portray Sonic and Amy in your AU fictions and stuff, because like especially it's noticed a lot. I've seen the notable one in my sister, where it's like, when Anella came back, right? After she
Yeah.
broke free from the prison and stuff, and she came back, they're like, Sonic goes to protect her, right? Like, protect his wife. But then, like, she actually goes to follow her, and Sonic just occasionally just checks up on his wife, because he's like, okay, it's like, I gotta let Amy do this is her sister. So,
Yeah, that's exactly what he was thinking. Like
Yeah, because he trusts her. Yeah.
yeah, Sonic has all his faith in Amy, just like Amy has all her faith in him. And Sonic especially knows how awkward family dynamics are. So he didn't want to like get involved in that and get in between it because he knows how much Amy's been wanting to find out about her family, because Amy also used to not have a family until Sonic reunited her with her parents. So when Amy found out she has a sister as well, Sonic knew how important that is to her. And he knows like Amy's not gonna stop, like she's not gonna give up. She will do her best to convince her sister. Like that's just what Amy does. Amy has that soft side where she will eventually convince the quote unquote villain that they're not a
Power of
bad guy.
convention.
Yeah. She's really good with that. It works every time with her.
I mean, literally, you can see that with. I'm sorry for dropping IDW once again. You can literally see that. I believe in with Search that Tony tried to speak to Search and it didn't work. So Amy has to step in, and now she's literally just chilling for now, quote unquote. But yeah, definitely Amy has like that power of convention on people. Like she's too sweet for you to say no to.
Yes.
And that's why Sonic is like, yeah, she's the one who can handle this stuff. I'll let her do it. Of course, I'm gonna pay attention just in case, but she got this. And I
Yes.
trust her. Yeah, so I definitely like that very much. Like there is this trust thing between them, and he knows that she can do it. He believes in her, and that's literally the best thing I see in their relationship so far.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mm.
like it's a great portrayal of like a healthy relationship.
Yeah. They really do
Definitely.
have a healthy relationship.
Yeah.
But like it's gotten to the point where they both know each other so well, where it's like, oh, it's like, I'll let Amy handle this because this is her strong point, and
Like
Yeah.
everybody has their own thing and they know which one can handle what thing.
Yeah.
And like, go straight to that person, they will help you. I'm not your guy, but they will help you.
yeah.
That's
Yeah.
definitely what I love so much about Team Sonic. Like everybody understands each other so well.
Absolutely.
Their strong points, their weaknesses, stuff like that, and they complemented that well.
Yeah.
Even in Frontiers, you can see that. You can literally see that in Frontiers, like how well Sonic understand everybody in their
Oh,
motives,
yeah.
and their goals and stuff like that. And I was like, wow, that was the one thing that drove me the best. It was how the plot and the characterization in Frontiers was of how Sonic trusts his friends so much to a point that, yeah, I need to help them, but at the same time, I know they got this. They know what to do, and they have the same goal as me. That is to protect the island, protect the Coco, and in general, defeat the end. And, in general, everybody knows what they're supposed to do. And
Mhm.
that's the best thing. For me, Team Sonic doesn't have like a leader. Everybody's a leader in their own way. And
I
that's
love that saying.
yeah.
That's a really good way to put it, that everyone's a leader.
Yeah.
I think what's funny though, like when the I think it was on Ares Island. You know when you had to when you get to this like I guess ravine area and there's like water you have to drain it. Knuckles literally just says, oh yeah, we gotta drain this water. And he's like, you better not fall in because I'm a ghost and I won't be able to bail you out since you can't swim.
Oh dear. Yeah, I know that one.
And he just lays it all out there with the truth. It's like, gee, thanks for the motivation. I was like,
I really love their dynamic in Frontiers, yeah.
Frontiers, they really wrote it really well. It literally was the first step in the right direction for Sega and the games. Like, I'm really excited for what they have next.
Yeah.
Ooh, here's my next question for you, Tara. Which other Sonic media are your favorites other than the game?
Other than the games, I definitely really enjoy Sonic X. I just loved the art style of it, and I loved the dynamics between each character. I also loved the glimpse of Sonomy and Sonic X. Like, you could tell that the show was somewhat trying to make Sonic and Amy canon because the moments were really, really special, especially the one with the episode where Sonic actually tried to risk himself swimming just to save Amy. Sonic X is definitely one of the
9.
Yes, episode 9. And
I love
episode
it.
52 when he gives her a rose. Oh, Sonic X
my
is definitely
God.
something I love. Yeah.
Pinnacle of Tonemi, episode 52, my beloved. Like,
Yes.
bro literally confessed to her, and everybody was like, tell her, and he just did it. We couldn't hear it, but we just saw the lips. We could see, Amy, I love you, and I'm like, no way, it's canon.
Yeah, Sonic X definitely. Absolutely love Sonic X. I always love the art style. I would like them to bring something similar to Sonic X back out. Like, I would like to see another Sonic series in like an anime art style like Sonic X. It was just so cool.
I would love if the style was similar to Sonic Dream Team. That would be perfect. Like the animation opening from the game.
Oh, that was such a good animation.
That was
I
so
loved
perfect.
that. I like the
I want
little
an
short
anime.
animations.
Yeah, I would love a whole anime series of Sonic in that style. Is how good that is.
I also liked the Frontiers animation they did of Knuckles. That was also really incredible.
Oh yeah, that one.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah.
It was so pretty.
Like a whole Frontiers anime in that style.
Oh yes, that I definitely agree. I was like, I know lots of people are like, please have Tyson Hess do an actual animated series of Sonic in that style. Like, yes, please.
People are begging for a new series. Apart from Prime, we want like a 2D animation.
Yes. I really love 2D animation, especially a lot more now because it's rare to see 2D animated films and shows now because a lot of shows are now CGI. It's really rare seeing 2D animated stuff.
That's something I agree. Oh, looks like I see a question in the chat. Ghost Tracker 2. Do you believe Sonic Frontiers has the best bosses? Oh, that's a great question.
Oh dear.
Yes and no. I would say yes and no because there are some other bosses that I think were better in other games. But I think the one boss that really stood out to me in Sonic Frontiers was definitely the first Titan.
Giganto.
Giganto. He intimidated me. He scared me. I quite liked him. He was a very intimidating boss. But obviously, like the rest of the bosses are just quite the same. I like a game when there's a mix of different bosses, of course. I think Methless was a good boss as well. I'm sorry, I'm talking up to Methless a lot here. There's another boss as well that I quite enjoyed. I can't remember which one it was. It was one of the Eggman bosses from Sonic Unleashed. There and Dark Gaia. I liked Dark Gaia as a boss a lot as well. He's one of my favorite bosses. But Giganto from Sonic Frontiers was my personal favorite. Actually, there's another Sonic Frontiers boss I liked, like the fighting style. It wasn't Supreme, but it was a good
new
one.
version. The new version is really good.
Oh yeah, Supreme. Oh, it was
Supreme
so
Man.
cool. I liked the boss with the shield. Is it Knight? The boss with
Oh yeah,
the
nice.
shield. That was a really, really cool fight. I liked that one a lot because like Sonic, his like final blow was throwing the shield and everything, and I was like, yo! And he was also like using the sword in the end. Like that was a really cool boss fight as well. I wasn't a fan of the second boss fight, one with the flying one. I wasn't a fan of that
Brightburn.
one. Yeah. Wasn't a fan of that one, but I liked Giganto and Knight. Those two were good boss fights. Which ironically they also have Undefeatable and Find Your Flame, ironically.
Yeah, definitely. That's the reason why I love those two as well. Especially, I'm pretty sure. I don't know if you were around when before Frontiers came out, that people were speculating that if Sonic was gonna have a weapon or something like that because they saw like the menu for, the skill tree and stuff like that. They said, wait, he's gonna have a weapon to fight, and everybody was assuming, oh my god, is this a reference to Sonic and the Black Knight? He has a sword.
Oh yeah.
And everybody was like, oh my goodness. And then, yeah, everybody was like, oh, he's gonna have a sword. We're gonna have like a skill tree for a sword. And then when we actually see the fight, we see that he actually uses the sword from Knight to kill him off.
Oh, it was so good. I
That was
loved it.
so good. Yeah.
Mhm.
I generally do look at Sonic as a sword guy. He'd work well with a sword.
He definitely does. And Shadow with the guns. Go figure.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, lots of I know when I know I had like there was like some people I follow who play Kingdom Hearts. They're like, "Oh my gosh, why is Frontiers reminding me of Kingdom Hearts style gameplay?" I'm like, "Really?" And then when I started playing the game, I'm like, "Oh, I can see why." Like I can definitely see. I'm not sure if you play Kingdom Hearts, Tara, but usually you have to a lot of the bosses in Kingdom Hearts you have to use a gimmick or reaction command, and that's what you do in Frontiers, right? You know, you have to use something that they use against them. You know,
I've never played Kingdom Hearts, but I'm surprised myself I haven't because it is a type of game I'm like interested in.
like some of the boss fights in the series literally have like a specific gimmick, like sometimes you have to use reaction commands for specific boss fights. So I think that's why some people were comparing it to Kingdom Hearts, because you know, like with the example of Night, where you have to, you know, you use the sword and then you gotta attack it with its shield and stuff. I'm like, oh, I can see why people are comparing it to Kingdom Hearts. It's very similar. It's like reaction command, but like it is kind of a reaction command.
I
If
would
that
really love they keep adding the QTEs on the Q time events, sorry, to more Sonic games because it actually gives like that focus kind of thing. Like, I don't know. I know people like the momentum or the boost and stuff like that, but I would like more of QTEs for the future because when Frontier has those moments that you need to act quickly and press the command and stuff like that, that was literally awesome because you're like, oh my god, that's so cool and epic. And yeah, they literally need to add more of those, especially when it comes to like running. Like you have this one input that you want to like avoid something and it has this cool animation. That will be amazing.
Yeah, it would be.
The very, the one game that I love the most that has so many of those is Final Fantasy. Like,
yeah.
oh my god, I love how the animations for the QTs is really good, and it gets you into it, and you're like, wow, that's so cool, but I gotta concentrate.
Yeah.
It's so distracting, the good animation, but then you have to press the button quickly, or else you're gonna just lose everything.
Yeah. For sure. I think the quick time events really keeps you on your toes because it's like, oh, you think it's just a cutscene playing out, right? And then it's like, oh no,
And it's
oh
something
no,
that you need to do, yeah.
yeah, like, press the button. Oh, um, but in Kingdom Hearts, they make the button so big so you can tell. Like they make it a pretty good size on the screen where you know when you're click it in the
When
quick
you're
time
supposed to
event.
play, yeah.
So it's like But yeah, I think quick time events I would love to see more in more Sonic games because I think that's very fitting too. Because quick time events are um
Yeah, for him is really it really fits a lot, especially since we're talking about somebody who's running fast and he has to like avoid stuff. Like, you need to react quickly. It's like you put yourself in Sonic's shoes. That,
mhm.
oh yeah, this is playing out, but you need to react quickly, just like him, and then you continue. That will be really good for in future entries. I would love to see more of those.
Yeah, like I think it was a great start to start it in this game because it's like they like to call it open zone for
Yeah.
whatever reason. We'll just go with that. But I was like, I still consider it, no matter how much you try to contextualize it as open zone. But
I mean, technically, Mario Odyssey is an open zone game, so this is actually a thing. It's literally the same because when you're talking about open world, like Zelda or any other franchises that has the open world thing, Final Fantasy as well, it's technically that is not like there is not a limit on the level. Like you can actually connect worlds within a map, and there is no limit, so you can like travel from one place to another without the necessity of like doing a traveling thing, like a fast traveling thing. You have the extra option of fast traveling just in case, but that's the open world gimmick. Like you can go from place to place without having this limitation. But when it comes to Frontiers or Mario Odyssey, you see that there is a limitation, and in order for you to leave, you need to use the fast traveling thing or use some kind of mechanic to leave. So that's technically a thing. It's literally the same.
mm.
Yeah. That's how I see it. Sorry, I'm just being a nerd here.
It's all good. Ooh, okay. I have a very interesting question for you, Tara. Like from your perspective, what do you love about Sonic and Amy's dynamic? Like whether if it's in the games or the cartoons or your own AU. Like
Mm,
what
I kind of just like that they're somewhat different but alike in a way. Like, for example, Sonic at first is the type of guy who isn't into romance. He just wants to be on the run all the time, and he hasn't got time to settle down. While Amy, on the other hand, she's passionate about so many things. She's into romance. She's into like putting so much time into a lot of things. And like they both have their own different hobbies, but at the same time, they have the same they also have the same like interesting things. Like they're both really caring people. They both want the best for everybody. And while they're both are different, I like that they both could like somewhat come together and learn about each other more. I really like that concept a lot. Um and I just kind of like that they both have like their best version of themselves when they're around each other, and like I feel like they slowly grow as a person when they're around each other as well. Like that's something I like to do in the fanfics as well. Like I just kind of like that they're somewhat different, but they can like somewhat be alike in a way in a serious situation, especially like they both come across as leaders. Like as much as Sonic doesn't see himself as a leading type of figure, he can somewhat be a really good leader, especially with Amy's encouragement.
Mhm.
And another thing that I really just generally liked about Sonic and Amy, they don't do this anymore, but I kind of liked the way that Amy would follow Sonic, like Amy would chase Sonic and she could catch up to him. I liked that a lot because she kind of catch up to him. So I always had this theory that Sonic just kind of slows down for her because he's the fastest thing in the world. He's the fastest thing alive. And I like that Amy, no matter what, she's determined to follow Sonic. And I also try to keep that kind of part of her in fanfics as well. Like not in the way she would usually do, but like she would always like be by Sonic's side and she'll always like find her way back to him in a way. I like that concept as well. Like I like that no matter what, Amy's there for Sonic. And when you get those rare moments back then when Sonic would like go for Amy instead, it was like it felt very special in a way, like, oh my god, it's happening. It's definitely more normal now that Sonic actually shows more interest and care for Amy, which I like. We get more Sonomy than we used to nowadays, which is so nice. I just
Yeah.
like that they can bring the best out in each other.
Yeah, I think last year was like where Amy, they started to prominently show Amy more in
Oh, I love that.
promotional stuff. And I think the funniest thing was when I found out that they actually made a Son Amy bouquet for Holocaust.
Oh, I
Which
wanted that spooky.
I personally own one, and that's
Oh,
literally
lucky.
next to my all the Sonics that I have. And I'll be honest with you, I don't care because this is actually an inside joke that all of us have. That Sega is actually like a personification of no, you must not have Sonemi unless we want to. Then you can date and stuff. But in secret, they're
Yeah.
actually dating and stuff. And then when there's comes to the public, they act like nothing is happening, but we know what is going on behind the curtains. And Sega is like, yeah, they can date as long as they give us money. Basically that. And, and
I
everybody's
really
like,
wanted it.
like, oh my god! And so make up your mind, Sega. Are they dating? Or are they not dating? And they're like, yes, no, possibly. I don't know. It's up to you.
I actually, someone made a comic about it too. Like, I think Amy was shopping and then Sonic was accompanying her.
Oh yeah, I know that one.
And then
Yeah.
bouquet.
Oh, I
and
love
then
that.
people around them like, oh my gosh, the actual couple's getting the last one. And then, and then you just see Sonic's eyes bulging out of his like eye socket. Like what? And then Amy's just like, ah.
Oh, finally, it's happening. And then he goes to Sega and he's like, okay, so tell me, are we dating? Are we not dating? And you're like, you can date as long as you give us money.
It was
In this scenario, you are dating.
it was the
Yeah, I love
funniest-
that comic very much.
it was the funniest thing. So I was like, I want to know.
But
what
yeah,
were your
seriously
thoughts?
love that joke that everybody has at this point.
But I am wondering, what are your thoughts on that bouquet? Actually,
I desperately wanted it, and as someone who was in the UK, I was very sad because it was only available in America, I believe. So I was asking my friends from America, I'm like, please, can you get a bouquet for me? Like CJ was trying to find one for me, but they really ran out quick in the stores. I really wanted one so bad. And the most we have for the UK merch, we have Shadow and Amy matching shirts. We have the Shadow Me merch here, just not the Sonomy merch. I have one of these shirts. I've got the Amy shirt now, but I'm hoping to get the Shadow one next as well. I've just got a Shadow head today. I've just bought one from the shop. It's like a squishmallow of just Shadow's head. Like
Ooh.
we do get some different kind of merch in the UK as well, which is fun. Just not Sonomy merch, sadly.
I'll be honest with you. I'm jealous of the things that you guys have over there, and I'm like, why don't we have that? And then I see people from from UK saying, but you got the best thing. What are you talking about? And I'm like, you literally got a hoodie of Shadow. What are you talking about? We don't have that.
Oh,
we have
yeah.
we have what, shirts? That's not even cool.
We have a mix of different things.
Yeah, and I'm
definitely.
like, come on, is there a way to buy this? Like me actually buying this? But yeah, for me to get I'll be honest with you, when I saw that the Sonemi bouquet was available, there was only 2 left. And I was like, oh my God, in Walmart, by the way. And then I was like, oh my God, I'm so getting this. Oh my God. And then I bought it. And then the moment I bought mine, and then, the page refresh itself, it was gone completely. Like it was
Oh.
sold out right
Oh
away.
wow.
They need to
And
sell
I was
more.
like, oh my God, I did just got one. And here I am with my Sonemi bouquet, literally surrounded by all my Sonics. Yeah, I have my Sonemi altar right there.
Oh, I don't understand why they do such separate merch in different countries, because like we do have some cool Sonic merch over here as well, but I've sent some over to CJ who's in America that they had like these Halloween themed Sonic stuff in my local supermarket. So I got some for CJ. There was like a Sonic and Shadow Halloween style pillow. There was a blanket as well. Like they do have some really nice cozy stuff for Sonic here. It's I love it. Not much Amy, sadly. A lot of Sonic and Shadow though.
Oh my god, yeah. I wish I could have that hoodie from Shadow. It's really cool.
He's very loved here in the UK, in fact.
Yeah.
Ooh, okay. I actually have a question, another question for you, Tara. If you were to suggest any news on Amy merchant, what would it be and why?
I feel like it's basic of me saying matching shirts, to be honest. Like I'm just thinking of a matching shirt of Amy saying what, like an Amy shirt saying, "I'm looking for Sonic. Can you help me find Sonic?" And then the Sonic shirt is, "I'm Sonic. Don't tell Amy." Like something like that. Like just a funny match shirt, whether it's for your friends or as a couple or anything. I think that would be really cute. The bouquet idea was a very unique idea, though. I loved that. But I would like an actual plushie, like a Sonic plushie overall. That would be cute. Like where I don't know, it's a little Sonic moment or
Ooh.
I don't know if they've done a Sonomy Valentine's card. I don't know if they've done that. Like a Sonomy theme
You know, the
card.
tarot cards have this very funny thing. I don't know if you saw it.
Oh, the tarot cards I've
king-
heard.
A king and queen of rings.
Oh,
Now
you
everybody's
love
losing their
it.
mind about it, them being married now.
Oh yeah.
Because we already had the whole King Sonic with Princess Amy for the you know, the traditional Japanese style era.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And then now they dropped this and now everybody's like, are they married?
Like,
They're married. But Sega just doesn't want to admit it.
They're definitely married. It's just Sega just trying to deny it. They're in denial.
Yeah.
it's funny because I would consider it's very similar to Mickey and Minnie because I had no idea that they were actually married though, like the actual characters. Like I know their VAs were married in real life, which is really adorable. But I was like I was just curious one day. I googled it. I'm like, are Mickey and Minnie Mouse like married? And they said yeah, since the '90s. Where's this wedding? What?
What happened?
Like I'm kind of like, okay, I need to know how did Mickey propose? When did their wedding happen? I need to see an animation. But no, Disney does not want or whatever.
That's the thing with many companies. They do ship them, but they try to like stay on, you know, own schedule about it. It's literally the same as well with Mario and Peach. Like you can literally see that Nintendo ships them. Like look at the many stuff they do with them in even in games. And then you see that Nintendo's like, oh yeah, they're good friends, don't worry. But you know that they're actually married somehow or something because even in Smash 4, there is like this picture of Mario putting a ring on Peach's hand. And you're like, what is going on? Then are they married? Are they not married? No. No, you're actually delusional. And I'm like, okay, what's with all the Marich content then? But yeah, they're actually in denial. That's why.
Mm-hmm. That's what I'm thinking too. But with Mickey and Minnie, it's like, okay, they're married. Okay, I was not aware of
When
this.
did this happen?
Exactly. I'm kind of like, I was like, come on, Disney, you need to give me an actual animated short or film, you know, whichever media, to show me that they are actually married. Because I like, you know, like it, like if you know what I mean. I'm kind of like, I need to see it to believe it, you know, because I'm like,
Exactly.
I don't really believe they're married because Disney never released anything about it. So I'm like,
Hmm.
what? I was like, I need proof. I need proof. Like that's kind of how I am. I'm like,
I mean, Minnie and Mickey doesn't have rings, so no wonder why people doesn't believe that.
exactly. So it's like,
Yeah.
I'm like, what? It's like it doesn't correlate, you know. It doesn't. There's no connection correlation. If they had rings, then maybe I can believe it, you know, or believe that they're engaged or something, if anything. But ooh, okay. Um, Tara, I'm very curious. Have you like you've heard about the Sonic X IHOP collaboration, right?
I think I have. Sonic X I Hub.
The pancakes.
Yeah, it's where they did like menu items for like Sonic, Tails, Knuckles.
Oh yes, yep. I've heard of it. Yeah.
I'm very curious. If you were to suggest another menu item, which character would it be and what dish would it be?
Tara, don't say Amy again, man. It actually might be Amy. I am looking at the menu as we speak right now. Yeah, Amy's looks very nice with vanilla ice cream, chocolate syrup, and fresh strawberries. Oh, I do like that. Oh, yeah. I'm being very basic, answering Amy all the time, but definitely Amy. She has good taste.
Like, would you suggest like maybe like like a strawberry shortcake maybe like as a menu item if you want to suggest another menu item?
Oh yes. Oh yes. Regardless of what Sonic says. Regardless of what that hedgehog says. Strawberry shortcake
the
is good.
allegations.
It's good.
But
Bro is not having it. Bro is not having it. He's like, nah, no more strawberry shortcake for me. Nope. I
but-
stay with my chili dogs. That's what it matters.
oh my gosh. But I'm very curious. In your AU portrayal of Sonic, does he like strawberry shortcake?
Sorry, my voice broke. That's up to CJ to answer because she's in charge of him. That she has to make a wise choice with that answer. I would like Sonic to like it. I feel like Amy would like Sonic to like it. I think Sonic would like it because anything, like if Amy were to make it, he would definitely like it. He likes anything that Amy makes for him. He is a huge fan of her cooking. So probably.
It would be so hilarious though, where it's like just say hypothetically CJ does put, oh, he doesn't like strawberry shortcake, and then Amy bakes it for him, and then she's like, if you don't eat this, I'm not gonna cuddle you for several days.
Oh yeah, that would be funny.
He's like, oh man, I have to eat this.
Thank you, CJ,
I
for
must
clarifying.
eat my cake in order to have wifey's cuddles.
Okay, that's good. At least CJ answered in the chat saying Sonic likes everything Amy makes. Okay, that's good.
That's good.
Because otherwise Amy would have to say, otherwise you won't get no cuddles with me. In any way, shape, or form. But
Sonic would be in a doghouse.
He will be like, yeah, whatever my wife says is what it is. I have no say in this one. He just willingly will follow anything Amy does. That's what I like at the most. Like he's like, yeah, I'll do anything for you, even if I don't like it.
But I'm very curious how like wasn't it in Mephisto's story that Arthur died, I think, right?
Yes.
In Mephisto's story, and who would actually take the throne after him? Would it be Anella since she was created from his blood, or would it be Amy that would be next in line to the throne? I'm just wondering how that works, you know?
That is a really good question because this is something I have thought of myself, and I think me and CJ has had this conversation before. It would technically be Anella because Anella's older than Amy, but in Arthur's preference, it would be Amy. Like Amy would happily take it, but like I said before, because Sonic isn't someone who likes the throne, Amy probably wouldn't take it then. Meaning eventually it would be Anella and Mephisto, which ironically Mephisto ended up getting power of a kingdom, but in a more nicer way and actually not intentional this time. It would be Anella and Mephisto in a way. And I don't think neither of them want it, actually. That's the fun thing. I don't think Anella or Amy want the throne because both their partners don't want to be king. Mephisto doesn't want it. Sonic doesn't want it. So, like, at the moment, their mother is just sat there like, then who gets the throne if both of you don't want it?
Nobody wants the throne.
Yeah.
Because would that make Mephiles, whether if it's like whether Anella or Amy, would that make their husbands like king regent or something? Is that how that would work?
I have no idea actually. Maybe? I'm not sure. Like, it would be cool to have Sonic and Mephiles as kings. Would be cool. But I have to leave that choice to the co-writer.
Yeah, because I was wondering about that because like since Amy and Anella are both princesses,
Hmm.
by blood, if anything, then it's like, yeah, the throne has to go to one of them regardless,
Yeah.
you know?
That or one of the grandkids eventually.
Yeah, so I was like, yeah, because it makes me question. I was like, who would take the throne? It's like I was like, I know it was put in Mephiles' story that Arthur died. I'm like, I was like, oh, okay. Who's gonna take the throne? Because this is how it works, right?
You know what's even the funnier thing is? Because, like, usually, like in royal stories, the male takes the throne, like the next male heir by blood.
Mhm.
And what's ironic is both Amy and Anella are girls, there's no sons. And Anella has no sons. Amy and Sonic have one son. But I don't even think that son would be interested in the throne either. Because he does not come across as the type I would imagine being king, which is very ironic. That's a really good question, though, and that is something that we probably should think about in the future. It is a very good question.
Yeah, because I'm just like wondering, okay, Amy and Anella's father's dead. Who's gonna take the throne?
Nobody wants the throne. That throne is bad.
Because, like, I know Amy wouldn't want the castle to be throneless, so I think she would try do something about it, but while somewhat trying to respect that Sonic doesn't want to be king. Like,
Yeah.
it would be a very tough situation and probably a good plot for Sonic and Amy.
Because it's just imagine their son's like, Mommy, Daddy, I don't want to take the throne. Oh yeah, we're fine. Don't worry, we're trying to find someone else so that way you don't have to take it.
It's kind
I
of
can
funny.
I can
Sorry.
imagine. Sorry. I can imagine, like, for example, they have like this poster saying, "We're looking for king or queen that can take over the throne for us. Please contact us at this number."
It just reminds me of Shrek the Third. If you watch Shrek the Third, where Shrek and Fiona were the next heir to the throne, but Shrek doesn't want to be king, so they go on an adventure and get Fiona's cousin to be king. It reminds me of that.
Yeah, I think like it sounds very similar. Like if you did something similar to that, where it's like, oh, what if like Arthur has like a brother or something, and then they have a son. Maybe they can take
Possibly,
over.
yeah.
Yeah.
So that's also a possibility in case if both Amy and Anella don't wish to take, the throne,
Hmm.
after their dad or anything. So that could possibly be another, idea, that's inspired by Shrek the Third, even though Shrek very simple
Yeah.
today. But yeah, I think that would be interesting to explore because it's like, yeah, it is the Rose Kingdom just gonna be throneless in case if both daughters don't if both of the daughters decide not to take the throne?
I definitely think they would do something about it because they do care about the kingdom. It's more like it depends on their husbands kind of scenario.
It's like Nell would be like, "Hey, Bliss, honey, you want to take the throne?"
Mephiles just having a traumatized look with all the events he's had with this kingdom.
He'd probably
And
be
if Sonic, yeah, if Sonic gets asked, you won't even see Sonic in the same room.
he's probably gonna be like running away, like, nope, nope, nope. Please don't. He's like, he's probably he probably might get reminded, the time when, with his dad. So
Yes, he would be.
Yeah,
he
he
probably
literally, yeah.
because you can tell Sonic's a good father. You can hear it in my sister.
Yeah.
When Amy's writing in her diary, she's like, Sonic's out with the kids to give me some mean time. He's sweet. And it's like, I think that really shows that he doesn't want his children to feel neglected like he does.
Yes. Sonic definitely has that fear. He doesn't want to be like his father. Like, he really loves his kids and he's very protective with them, especially. Like, he wants the
Yeah.
best for them.
He's trying to avoid as much as he can, like, have the same path.
Yeah.
So they don't feel the same way as he did.
Yeah.
I definitely would like to bring some attention to his kids in a plot, like especially their oldest, which is their son. He's called Max, and at first he was kind of wanting to be just exactly like his dad, but Sonic like is encouraging him to be more like himself. And at the moment, he's now going through his teenager phase, so he's like trying to figure out who the heck he is and everything.
Oh dear.
Yeah, so I would like to show more of him.
Oh.
I would love to see more of the kids in the future.
Yeah.
Oh, they have 4 kids. Technically 4. We showed 3, but they do have a 4th one.
Is it a girl or is it a boy?
Yeah.
Oh.
They have 1 son and the rest of them are girls. And because the rest of them are girls, Sonic has a very hard time being a very protective dad. And he probably would like them to stay young forever because Sonic definitely would be the type to be a strict, overprotective dad. He wouldn't be strict, but he would be like that kind of paranoid dad's like, she's going on a date, she's going on a date, she's going on a date.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I definitely love that everybody, whenever they're writing Sonic as a dad, they actually like everybody has this collective thought that he will be like that one dad that will protect the girl. Like, oh no, I'm not letting my little princess go on a date because they're gonna take her away from me.
Like, he encourages his son, like, yeah, go on a date. That's my man. You go be cool. But then with his daughters, he's like, no,
Big no.
internal panic.
Because in a way, you could say Sonic can be understanding why Arthur had that disapproval look. It's like, oh yeah, once my daughters get older, I'm gonna be in that same position. About it. So I think maybe Sonic doesn't say anything about it because he's like, oh, since I have girls, it's like, yeah, I'm gonna probably behave exactly.
Oh yeah,
like
definitely.
Because it's a typical thing. Like if you have like the overprotective or strict dad, it's kind of like they built this reputation. Like any guy that their daughter brings into him is like, no, he's never.
Is an instant enemy right away. He's literally the worst enemy they can think of.
He's like, he's not. Like there will be no man that will be good enough for my daughters.
Exactly. He will be like that.
You're not for my girl. I'm sorry. You're not I cannot approve you.
Yeah.
Like Amy will definitely be more understanding and the sweet mom. The Sonic will just be like just twitching next to her.
Giving everybody the side eye.
Yeah.
So I think that's why Sonic doesn't, he is intimidated, my right when Amy visits her parents, Arthur gives him like the disapproval look, and it's like, well, Sonic, you're gonna be there when your dog.
Yep.
8, so it's like, you gotta be. I think that's why he doesn't say anything because it's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna be in that position.
Yeah, he's never spoke against Arthur. He's actually been very respectful to Arthur.
Yeah, but it's quite interesting. I was like, oh, this is beautiful. That it's funny because how you mentioned that in his backstory, he ran away from his royal life, but then he ends up falling in love with someone who is royal.
Yeah.
Which is
the ironic, the irony of that one.
The irony, yeah. And then it ended up connecting that both their kingdoms actually were once united and their parents have a history together.
And
So it's very ironic.
Definitely.
it makes me wonder if Arthur ever had that conversation with Sonic. You know, like to tell him why he doesn't approve of it, but
I don't think they ever had that conversation. I think literally Sonic just never fully understood until he knew Methless's story and then he solely understands how Arthur was. I don't think Sonic ever took it personally. Like he's the type of guy who doesn't take it personally. Like he's all like, "Oh, okay, you're just like this with me. Cool. Okay, cool. I'll just be cool. Cool, 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 cool." Like that.
yeah,
Yeah. I
yeah,
generally just think he just didn't take it personally and just more like, "Oh God, Amy's dead."
yeah, because it's kind of like I just have to be respectful, you know, because
Yeah.
of course in that fan fiction that CJ did for your birthday, it's like he did like it makes me wonder what was Arthur thinking trying to marry his daughter Amy to Zach. What?
He didn't know Zach's intentions back then. Because he really didn't like Sonic at first, and he wanted someone who he felt was proper for Amy, and he thought Zach was like a suitable gentleman. But it obviously turned out he wasn't, of course, because he just looked at Sonic at first as someone who was way too immature for Amy, and that's why at first he was like, "Nope, you're not marrying this guy." And like, despite everything the way Arthur was to Sonic, he still remained like chill and respectful for the sake of Amy, of course, because he really loves Amy and he doesn't want to mess things up for her.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think what was really interesting about it is like it's like you said, Sonic has respect for Amy's father, where it's like, yeah, because if he does something that Amy's father does not approve of, it's like, yeah, like um he might say something about it and everything. So
It's more because he doesn't want to upset Amy. Like, he generally, at the end of the day, doesn't care what her father thinks. It's more like he cares about what Amy thinks. And Amy, like, somewhat still loves her dad. Like, she has some love for him, despite that her dad is not, he's a bit of a difficult person, but she has somewhat love for him. So that's why Sonic just chose to, like, not say much bad about her father because he can see how much Amy still cares for him. He just does it for her. He
mm,
has this do it for her mindset all the time. Sonic, like, just do it for her.
yeah.
Do it for her.
Yeah, I think that's it makes a lot of sense because he's like it's like I do need to present myself. It's like, yeah, I'm in front of royalty. I'm in front of a king who is my wife's father. So he's like
Yeah.
be respectful in that way. So like it's definitely something that's like it makes me wonder, did Sonic and Amy marry before he found her parents, or was it after? Because I feel
Before.
like, oh, it was before, okay. Because I was like wondering, I'm pretty sure if it was after he found her parents, I'm not sure if the dad would approve of Sonic of
Oh, Sonic won't ask for approval. He'll just go straight ahead and marry her.
Mm, yeah, because I was trying to figure out the timeline of the events. I was like, did they marry before Sonic found her parents? I was like, if they did, that would make a lot more sense because I'm not sure if Arthur would give his blessing to Sonic.
No, he would not. Definitely not. I think
Like,
he eventually would because Arthur eventually slowly saw how Sonic made Amy happy.
yeah.
Eventually saw it. It just took a long, long time for him to. They got married a long time before Amy's parents came into the plot and Amy's sister as well. This was also when Metals wasn't in the plot either. Like, they got married quite early, in fact.
Mm.
Like, I think Sonic proposed to Amy. I think it was a year after they started dating. I can't remember. I think CJ might remember the timeline better than me, but I think it was a year after they were dating for. And then they got married probably like a year after that. I can't remember the time because it was so long ago. Like, generally we wrote that 10 years ago nearly. I know it's a long time. Um but they have had like renewals. Like, they've had like renewal weddings for those who wasn't part of their first wedding, and Arthur was approving of that. As much as he was having like the grumpy face about it, he did get to walk his daughter down the aisle one point during a renewal.
He'd probably be like giving Sonic the "you better not hurt her or you're going down" type of
Yeah.
he was walking her down the aisle. And he's probably just like, "I'm just doing this for Amy's sake."
Yeah.
She loves me so much. Like he's still doing that. "I'm watching you. If you hurt her in any way, you gotta deal with me."
Yeah.
Oh, Tara, I do have a question for you. This is something that I've been thinking about because whenever I was watching your stories, I always have like this always reference to another one. Like, is every universe connected in some way? Because, for example, I believe that in my sister, I have some references to the Halloween stories. Like, you connected them, or what is going on there? Because I've been seeing that a lot.
So not all of them are connected. What we like to do with the fanfics on this channel, we kind of like to add some Easter eggs in. So the Halloween series isn't connected to my sister, but what we did is we wanted to include Anella in the Halloween series as well because she's considered as an important character to the channel. So Anella has a different backstory for the Halloween series, and we like to sometimes show Easter eggs to other fanfics as well. So there might be some times where you might see something that's similar to another series. It's just more like, oh, it's just an Easter egg to something else.
Oh,
Like
okay, gotcha.
the Halloween series is connected to the high school series, though, of course.
All right. Okay. Yeah, I was like, but is it connected to it? Because that's a different thing. But yeah, then I saw Nella being part of the Halloween series, and I was like, wait, it is connected then. And I was
No,
like,
just I wanted to add her in.
yeah, it's probably not, but I don't know because the whole references of having cameos there, and I'm like, it is connected or not? But yeah, I was always wondering that. I wanted to properly ask you that.
No,
to
it's
make
fine.
sure.
Oh, that's fine.
Yeah. Yeah, but I seriously personally, I really love 12th July, My Sister, and the Methodist story. Like all the stories so far, like the current ones, are my sincerely favorite.
Thank you. It means a lot, especially because that's with the AU that I love most that I share with my best friend. So generally, it means a lot that you really enjoy that AU, and I'm sure it means a lot to CJ as well. It's really something we enjoy doing, and it's my most important AU because to this day I still privately write for it. We just occasionally bring out projects that we've done privately to the public. So generally it does mean a lot. Thank you.
My pleasure. I hope to see more of those in the future.
Oh, definitely. Definitely. I made a promise to CJ, yes, you can get involved in future ones, that we can't keep doing the birthday gifts for each other because they get delayed definitely, because Breathless's story was meant to be done last year, but I had a lot of different things come up, like the 10-year anniversary of the channel. So I got very occupied by different projects, and eventually I just never got back to Breathless story. So I finally did that this year.
Yeah, that's actually really cool. Like, you guys are telling stories via gifts. That's so
yeah.
cool.
Yeah, it's definitely more motivating when we're doing it as gifts for each other, but I would like to get CJ definitely involved in the next one. So I'm not entirely relying on my memory.
CJ, if you're watching this, you're also amazing.
Yes, you are. She's right there, Howling Moon 08. She's right there.
Oh, okay.
And on that note, unfortunately, we will have to end this live stream. I want to thank you all for asking your questions in the live stream chat. A lot of great questions to Tara here.
Thank you.
And I want to give a special shout out to Kenny here for being my co-host for Tara.
My pleasure. It was actually really a pleasure being here because I love Tara like so much, her story and stuff. Like, I've been watching her stuff like since the very beginning, and it has been like literally my source of inspiration, mostly to do my own thing.
Oh,
And wow, yeah.
you're
And
so
it's really a
sweet.
pleasure. Yeah, it's really a pleasure to, being here with you.
It's a genuinely a pleasure to talk to both of you. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, it was great to know to know more about like how you came up with the stories for your AUs, especially for
Yeah.
and Amy, and learning about that is very, very interesting. I always love learning about behind the scenes stuff. And
Yeah.
um it was such a pleasure for everyone here to ask questions. I appreciate it so much. And of course, the next live stream I will be having will be this coming Thursday on May 23 at 4 p.m. PT, 7 p.m. ET. Is tier ranking with Leah, which myself, Chris, and Andrew HBA, we will be ranking Sonic's outfits in a tier list. So
Ooh.
be sure to tune into that. And of course, I am also planning a special live stream in June and it's going to be in celebration of Sonic Revolution because it's 10 years. It's going to be 10 years in June for the actual convention. So I'm currently in the works of scheduling that. So be sure to tune into that, and hopefully I can get the next episode of Sonic Lore with Radar and the Lucky Charm podcast, respectively, with Radar. And of course, Lucky Charm podcast with G, aka the Cartoon Hotspot. So hopefully I can get the next episode live stream scheduled for those. But stay tuned for any more fun live streams because we did do one this past Thursday. So that also might be a thing. So of course, it was a pleasure to do this Q&A with you, Tara. I'm so glad that you agreed to do this.
Thank you for inviting me. Generally,
Same here.
thank you so much, both. Thank you, and of course, thank you to Chris.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys. It's really sweet of you all being so welcoming. And
Our
of course, thank you to
pleasure.
the people that showed up. I recognize a lot of names in the live chat. I recognize a lot of you. Thank you.
Yeah, so may you all have a wonderful and thank you all for tuning in. Bye everyone.
Bye, everyone.